Guys, what's up? And today we are going to be reacting to Haminations again. I know it's been a year, but let's give it a shot. Today we are trying Boy Scouts. It sucks. Okay, with nothing to further ado, let's start the video.
Bryson, your dad and I decided that all you boys are gonna be Eagle Scouts because we believe this will help prepare you for the real world, be a huge accomplishment, and help launch you into adult life.
No thanks. I don't like doing scout camps. It's too intense for me. Hi there. Hi, I'm Bryson, and my parents forced me to occasionally sleep outside in the middle of nowhere and called it Boy Scouts, despite my massive amount of weeping, wailing, and gnashing of teeth. And oh boy, do I have some stories about it. But as a gateway, they had me do Cub Scouts. The best thing I could say about Cub Scouts was that at least it was more chill. It was more like, okay, kids, today we're gonna do some bird watching and learn to tie a knot. But then Boy Scouts were like, build an icicle and sleep in it or you'll die.
What the hell?
Seriously, the scout camps were so lawless. The only laws we followed were the laws of nature. Why were these adults giving 12-year-olds the power of fire? One year, when my dad was a scout leader, he woke up to see that the boys had started a bonfire and were jumping through it. Stop! What are you boys thinking?
We were testing our courage, Bryson's dad. We were also testing Charles Darwin's theory of natural selection. If any of us are too weak, we'll fall in the fire and die, which will clean the gene pool, making the next generation stronger.
What? Okay, that kind of makes sense. All right, let me join in. Woohoo!
Looks like we lost one.
I was eased into scouts at a thing called Cub Scout Day Camp, where you would show up, do activities as a group like the ring gunner regatta, duck duck goose, and tying knots. Then at night, your parents would pick you up and take you back to your air-conditioned house. So you didn't actually have to sleep in the dirt. I remember being so jealous of the kids who had Lunchables. I was sitting there with a BLT sandwich with apple slices, a homemade cookie in the shape of a heart, and a handwritten note from my mom telling
What? That's good. Your mom's making you food. Do you know how much sugar those things have? Like those Lunchables have sugar. It's so much sugar. If I had that, I would be like, why? Why? Why again? Why this again? Again and again? Why would you not want something like a sandwich? I don't get it, like most kids now, they need a Lunchables or mini Franks to even satisfy their one tongue. But then they want more and more and more, and then I'm like, nah, stop. Anyways, let's continue.
how much she loved me, and meanwhile, Tyler had this. What a ripoff! But now, in retrospect, I'm grateful that my mom cared enough to pack me a lunch.
Thanks.
One activity we did was we were going to learn how to make paper from, only stuff found in nature. We were going to be the Bear Grylls of paper making. I was so excited to learn. But then we got there and they said, okay, class, here's how to make homemade paper. First, grab some toilet paper, get it wet, mold it into the shape you want, let it dry, then you've got paper. Excuse me? That's like saying, here's how to make a chair from scratch. First, grab a chair, and voila, you've made a chair. One useful thing they taught me was how to safely carve wood with a knife. Always aim the sharp end away from your body, and then stick the sharp end into another scout to conquer them. I was cruising through the Cub Scout ranks. Tiger, wolf, bear, weebolo. Still don't know what that is. But then I had to evolve from a fun, relaxed Cub Scout into a hard, manly Boy Scout. And that meant going on campouts where I had to sleep in the wilderness. Going on scout camps was really scary and anxiety-inducing for me. I was a really sensitive kid, so even just one-night camping trips were a nightmare for me. I was small and weak, so I couldn't hike as far as the other boys. boys. I had gone on a few one-night trips begrudgingly, but when they announced a week-long backpacking/camping trip, I begged my parents to let me stay home in the air conditioning and indoor plumbing. After much deliberation, they finally said I could stay home. I was so relieved, but then I stupidly tried to push my luck. This was around the time that the Nintendo 3DS was the hot thing that I desired more than anything in the whole world. So I asked, Mom, Dad, can I get a 3DS, please?
I'll buy you a 3DS
Really?
if you go to scout camp.
No!
Yes.
Can't I just get it for
Yes.
Christmas or something?
No. If you want one, you need to go on this
Yeah.
scout camp. Show us how unreliant you are on technology, and in return, we'll buy you more technology.
This was such an ordeal for me. I wanted the 3DS so much, but I despised scout camp. My mind raced trying to figure out.
Here's the thing, one time I had to go to the mountains. Now I don't like the mountains particularly. Most people disagree with me entirely. They're like, the mountains are so pretty, and now I get it. They're actually good. They look pretty, they feel so good when you climb them, but as a kid I didn't like those things. So when my mom promised me a games console, I was like, okay. After going for 3 weeks of cold, I'm going to literally, and it was not even that scarcity. We were just going to go for a little trip of 3 weeks of mountain in a hotel still. But after this, I got my console, which I adored, but I threw it away like 15 hours. Yeah, like 5 years later.
Solution. Maybe I'll mow people's lawns for money and do lemonade stands. I'll save up the money to buy it myself.
No. If you don't go on this scout camp, so long as you live under my roof, you will never own a 3DS. I won't let you buy one even if you earn your own money.
This was a
Oh
huge
my
blow.
God.
I was devastated. And tragically, this was during the time when I still thought adults knew everything. And for some reason, I assumed that Dad could actually enforce this outlandish rule. I was trapped. I had to go. My parents said that the only way I could get a 3DS was if I went on this trip. Your parents are buying you a 3DS for this? My parents forced me to go or I'd be grounded all summer. Anyway, you want some cold pizza sauce and cheese on a cracker from my Lunchable? And then, every morning, we woke up, packed everything up, and hiked for like 12 miles every day. Then set up camp again. And I hated hiking. Everyone was always like, what a great view. But I was like, the view is never worth it. But nowadays, I like hiking in views. Of course, my legs are so long now that I only have to take 3 steps and I'm there. But back then, I had little legs. I was so small and weak that the other scouts had to help carry my stuff, and I still feel bad about it. I'm so sorry for being small and useless, guys. I honestly wonder why I didn't get called a twerp more often. Because I was one. It was probably a good thing I was so shy and quiet, because if I had let my true annoying self shine through, the other scouts probably would have killed me with hammers while the leaders laughed and said, boys will be boys. Ma'am, your son is throwing rocks at the other children's head.
I don't know why people say boys will be boys. We are boys. We should be cared for, like, by an adult. No, boys will be boys. Like, shut up. Get your kid proper attention. Like, the other day I was going to the park and somebody was throwing cans at somebody else. I was like, excuse me, man, can't you see your child is throwing cans at people? And she was like, boys will be boys now. I'm like, no, that's not a good way to teach your children. Like, bro, if you do that, then how are you do anything? How is he going to learn that this is actually wrong?
All boys will be boys. No, teach them how to not do stupid stuff.
Correct the Bryce. That's just what I said. Like, bro, why do these things say, stupid
Really,
ass?
stop throwing rocks and be nice. But I love myself just the way I am. Well, the way you are right now sucks. Do better. Try harder. No.
You will learn respect, and suffering will be your teacher.
Why Avatar?
Honestly, as much as I belly
Why
about it,
Avatar?
having my
I
friends
like
there to
that
talk
show
to made
so
it pretty
much.
fun. Not to mention
Just
arrived meant
goofy.
at least one good thing would come of all this. We
Oh,
hiked,
you
sang,
got-
caught frogs, and made a shelter out of sticks and bark to get our wilderness survival badge. Looking back, though, it was funny how I always wanted to do my own thing, regardless of what the other boys were doing. They all decided to go skinny dipping in a pond, and I was like, no way am I doing that. But then, Travis lost his swimsuit in the pond and had to streak back to his tent. And we later learned that the pond had leeches in it. The other boys wanted to stay up and make s'mores, and the leaders were going to teach us some life lesson about not swimming in leech-infested waters or something. And I was like, no, I'm tired, I'm going to bed. Then on the drive home, we stopped at a burger place, and our leaders challenged us all to eat a burger with 4 patties. But I knew my weak stomach couldn't handle that, so I said, no thank you, and got a normal burger. And then everyone told me to go to college, and I was like, no, I'm going to be a YouTuber. And then the IRS told me to stop committing felony tax evasion, and I said, try and stop me.
What the
That's a
hell?
joke. I love paying my taxes. But I did it.
Okay,
I
that's a
finished
joke.
the trip. Then I got home
Pay
and
your
was given a
taxes.
3DS. Yippee! I'm never going camping again. The next big scout trip I was forced to go on was at this huge camp where tons of other scout troops would visit. We arrived and this older scout came up to us. He held out his walking stick, pushed me aside, and said, get out of my way. In scouts, there's a hierarchy among the boys where the older boys are allowed to be mean to the younger boys. However, I also had a glaring physical flaw that always had me at the bottom of the list. I was small, so even the younger scouts could beat me up. This boy was an assistant leader at the camp, and it was immediately apparent to me that he was the type of guy to get 1 micron of authority and let it go directly to his head and abuse his power. But he was older and that made him better than us. At least in his mind. I think it's really neat.
I had a trip. I don't know where it was. It was like near a mall. So we went to the play place of that area, and since I was in one of the top classes, my classmates were also seniors in this point. So we were assigned to actually lead groups. So one of my classmates, let's name him Brian for the sake of this, he took that power way too seriously. He said, no, you can't go on that ride. I'm only allowed to go on that ride. Only my friends are allowed to go on that ride. I'm like, bro, I'm the senior, you. Shut up. Let the kid go on the ride. It's a ride. He's like, no, I'm not the senior. I'm the senior with you. Bro, the teacher made a conference like 2 days ago assigning our roles on a field trip. I'm the senior of a senior. Okay? Now just shut up and then go to the corner because I'm not letting you go on a ride anymore. And he's like, no, please, I want to go on rides. You paid so much money. You paid like $4 for your bus, food, and entertainment.
That you've earned all these merit badges, buddy, but I think you're missing some of the most important ones. And those are the emotional maturity badge, the coping with insecurity badge, and the going to therapy badge. Which is what I would have said if I had any confrontation skills. Instead, I kind of just observed his arrogant attitude and silently judged him. And then years later made fun of him online in a YouTube video. Who's laughing now? Anyway, the leaders took us to a campsite and all of us slept in this rickety wooden structure filled with bunk beds. Then we went to a ton of merit badge
doesn't seem
classes and
safe.
filled out packets. Great, we're just doing homework in the woods. But at least we had some downtime to just play card games together. However, one time while we were playing, this one kid, Sean, somehow fell out of his top bunk, did a flip through the air, and slammed into the ground. Anyways, got any force? No. I continued through the Boy Scout ranks reluctantly and against my will, and I had to get interviewed to become a Life Scout. But in case you forgot, I was a shy little guy. The scout leaders asked me what I learned and what requirements I did and blah blah blah. Then one of the leaders said, can I give you some advice? You could work on your eye contact. Oh. And from that point on, I've been really good at eye contact. Sometimes being told to cut it out is the solution. Look at my eyes. Look at them. See into my soul. The next
the
big camp
hell?
was a few years later. I was 16.
Why is
and the leaders
Bryson
were like,
so
"Hey, kids,
chaotic?"
Today we're gonna learn how to shoot a shotgun. And this
Maybe
was at a
we will
point where I
learn it in
still
the
thought
next
adults
video.
had it all figured out. So I was like, okay.
We are gonna watch
seriously,
no-
why were they
another
letting
video.
16-year-old boys wield shotguns guns. Luckily, we were okay, but what if one of the boys was feeling a little rambunctious that day? Or if they let their intrusive thoughts win? Young boys don't understand consequences yet. I'm 22 and I still don't understand them.
What the hell?
Anyway, they gave me the gun and threw a clay pigeon for me to shoot. I hit it! My very first shot, and I hit it! And then I missed the next 9 shots. 10% ain't bad. It's better than most of my school assignments. Then it came time to do an Eagle Scout project. So with a lot of help from my parents, I built some shelves to help my middle school organize their theater stuff. I had done it. I earned the rank of Eagle Scout.
Now, one thing. I remember having so many projects that I had to help. Special thanks to my mother for actually letting me do these projects and then letting me have a break after this, because why? She did majority of the work. She knew how to make them. I found the pictures on the internet. We photocopied. And basically that's it.
And now I love camping. I'm so prepared for the real world now. Can we see your resume? And what experience do you have that you believe will help you excel in this role? I don't have a resume or any applicable experience, but check out this square knot though. Honestly though, I don't think I deserve this award. I can't even start a fire on my own. And I'm not very trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, or reverent. My mom was the one that pushed for it, and I guarantee you that without her constant help with merit badges, camping gear, packing lists, and encouragement, I would not have earned this. She also helped my 3 brothers earn their awards, and I guarantee you that she can survive in the wilderness longer than me. She's the real Eagle Scout, not me. And so, by the power vested in me, by me, I officially revoke my Eagle Scout status and I award it to my mom. The moral of the story is that it's okay for your parents to force you to try new things sometimes. Maybe you'll make a video about it later. Okay, that's all the time I've got. I've got to get back to playing Animal Crossing New Leaf on my Nintendo 3DS. Hey guys, I'm sick right now. Thanks for watching me struggle through the Boy Scout ranks. Also, a huge thanks to my amazing team for their fabulous skills. They did a great job as usual. I'm so grateful to be in a position to share my stories with you all, and I'm glad you like them. Boy Scout...
Now, after this, we're gonna watch... My Boy Brother. Stupid ads. I can't even skip them. Okay, finally we're back on the video. Okay.
Stick around to the end of the video for a huge announcement.
So before, you're now watching My Bully Brother. I don't have any brothers, so I don't know how this experience will be. Let's start.
Hello? Is this thing on?
Okay.
Hey, my brother has been bullying me a ton lately, but I've been studying his tactics and I know how to get him back. I've set up a bucket above his door so that when he walks through, he'll get soaked. Oh, here it comes. Shh. What?
Use my spells against me.
Powder,
I'm
Harry Potter
Bryce, and
reference.
This is my older brother, Brayden. We're best friends now, but our relationship wasn't always like that. Brayden was a total bully, and I was the innocent victim for our whole lives. That's not. Shut up. Anyway, you told me to shut up. Back off. It's my channel.
Oh no, no, oh.
You better leave.
No.
Anyway, today I wanted to regale you with some of the fantastical stories of our sibling rivalry and how that blossomed into a beautiful friendship.
No.
Let's start at the beginning. Brayden had a huge problem with me minding my own business. I would just be chilling in my room playing with Legos and he would come in and knock them down. It's kind of like a beaver when it sees water. They both...
How many times do I have to explain? Never trust your brother. Your brother is not gonna let you do anything at this point. Like, if you tried, you would fail. Every single consecutive time your brother wants to hurt you, he will hurt you. Nobody's gonna blame him. Nobody's gonna actually stop him. Maybe your older brother will, but not himself.
Well, someone's
I
gotta
just
put a stop to this. One time we were wrestling and we had stuffed pillows under our shirts for protection. Brayden saw this and thought,
Oh, he's got a pillow under his shirt. He's immune to all attacks. So it doesn't matter how hard I hit him.
then he kicked me into a stool. It dug into my unprotected back and knocked the wind out of me.
Okay, stop being so dramatic. You're fine. Look, I'm thinking there's no reason we can't keep this little incident between us. Don't tell Mom, or I'll wring your neck. Okay, all good. See you later.
Brayden himself has told me that he didn't discover empathy until one day when he threw a pine cone at Brody's back and made him bleed.
Rare achievement.
Didn't apply empathy until several years later, though. Even now, his empathy is selective. Brayden loves pushing buttons. Growing up with him was a masterclass in making other people mad, and bothering me was easy. I just wanted peace, and Brayden knew exactly how to shatter that peace.
Why
For
a
example,
shark?
For several nights in a row, I would be in bed.
Okay.
Brayden would come in and say,
You've had it far too good for far too long.
and then beat me up.
What the hell?
After, I would say, why? And he would say,
No reason. Unprovoked. Anyways, see you same time tomorrow night.
This is how Bryson became so chaotic. Like, he's actually so, like insane in his videos. He's like tripping every single time. He's doing random acts of literal whatevers. I don't even know why until Brody or Brenner did. No, Brayden, right? Brayden did this.
one time,
I don't know why. Can't I have a video without an ad? Give this mistake to a child.
we were on a
Disney
family
Plus
cruise,
Live.
and Mom wanted us all to take a picture together. At this point, Brayden's button pushing and bothersome tendencies had infected all of us. It was like a virus. Brayden would bother me, and to blow off steam, I would bother Brenner. What a healthy brother dynamic. Hurt people,
hurt people. What can I say?
Am I right? And further, Brayden
Oh.
was an expert at making it seem like it was my fault and playing innocent. So there we were, getting ready to take a picture, and Brody and Brayden decide this would be the perfect time to start grabbing my butt. Obviously, I get angry and start pushing and trying to get them to stop as they laugh at me. Mom hears the ruckus and, of course, assumes I'm just causing problems for no reason and says, Bryson, stop! So I tried to just deal with it and smile for the picture as my brothers laughed at me. Here is a recreation of
What can I say in this? What can I say? I have like 14 stories in a literal journal of how my cousins, I don't have brothers, I have cousins, who I treat like brothers, have annoyed me to the point of insanity. It was like they were chipping an eerie slope that just creeped into my sanity and then just annihilated it with every blow. For example, one time I was playing football alone. It was like, in the morning, like 7 a.m. And my cousin thought this was the perfect time to hit me from the behind because he just woke up. Yep. But eventually I made him stop. Because that was just rude. He was just being rude at this point. Anyways, let's...
that picture. I lost on all accounts. I look
Whoa.
super ugly because I'm trying not to squirm because my butt is being grabbed. Mom was mad at me, and Brody and Brayden looked great. They were experiencing the pure joy of a devious master plan coming together. They knew I had no options, so their smiles are genuine. Neither of them had ever, nor ever would again, smile that brightly for any family photos. However, me and Brayden did have a team up on that same trip. I was in the shower, and Brenner kept turning off the light to bug me. I kept warning him that I would spit water on him if he kept turning off the light, but that only strengthened his resolve to bug.
Where I live, this is normal, but I think in the States it's very rare. For like something that needs to be outside, a light switch for the bathroom, because majority of bathrooms have the light switch inside too. But where I live, it's the opposite. Where things are like the bathroom light being on the inside and the outside being the most majority of it. So that's why most pranks go on.
He would turn it off and then run away down the hall over and over. Eventually, I asked Brayden to help me administer justice to Brenner, and he agreed. Brayden hid behind the door, Brenner came back and turned off the light, but before he could escape, Brayden grabbed him. Do it now! As I filled up my mouth with water to spray Brenner, I started laughing about how funny it was gonna be when I sprayed him. But the laughter caused me to accidentally inhale the water. It all went in my lungs and I started coughing violently.
I had one
Something
experience
about that
like
made my
this. Like,
stomach go, oh yeah, he's coughing. Let's just do a full reset. Send all stomach contents back from Leslie Kane, please. Beep. And I threw up in the shower as my brothers watched. I should have just thrown up on Brenner. He would have never bothered me again. But alas. Here's another example of Brayden's shenanigans infecting his fellow men. We were in high school at this point, and Brayden had taken a liking to flipping me off. However, eventually it just became an inside joke to us, and I would flip him off back. So we would do this all the time to each other as confused bystanders watched. It basically became our way of greeting each other. But one day, this harmless prank went quite wrong. We were getting food at a restaurant. I paid, and the lady gave me my receipt, and I went to give her a thumbs up. But the habit was so deeply ingrained in me that I accidentally flipped her off. Luckily, her head was turned, and as she turned back in the nick of time, I switched my hands to a thumbs up. That was the real-life equivalent of using the wrong emote. I told Brayden about it, and we laughed and flipped each other off. Honestly, there aren't a ton of crazy stories of Brayden bullying me. It was more of an evenly spread, slow burn that chipped away at my sanity for years. For example, hitting me unprovoked to keep me on my toes, stealing my stuff and hiding it, kicking me off the Xbox, giving me a disconnected controller to make me think I was playing a video game with him, pushing me too hard on the rope swing so I would hit a tree, splashing me in pools, and throwing the hot potato at me way too hard, etc. That kind of stuff takes a toll when you're small. It was a vicious cycle of him purposefully aggravating me too much and me being too sensitive. And there's no rhyme or reason to his crimes either. It usually plays out like this. What a brute. No matter. I know his tactics. He's trying to get a reaction out of me. Well, he's out of luck. I've gained total mastery over my emotions. That being said...
what? This is a Death Note reference. No, this is a Death Note reference. Never I thought this was a Death Note reference.
Laugh while you can, Brayden, because tonight your reign comes to an end.
Light Yagagami, end him. Let's go. Frank and
All this
John.
being said,
Just destroys Light Yagagami or something. Can I have a video without an ad? I'm actually not joking. Every time when there's an ad, it only comes when I'm making videos. Like, actually.
He truthfully is a great brother, and I love him very much. The year was 2017, and I was about to turn 16. The Nintendo Switch was releasing the next day, and I asked my parents if I could wake up early, wait in line at the store, and buy the Switch with their money for my birthday, since it would probably be out of stock everywhere by the time my birthday really did arrive. They said no, and I went to bed disappointed. Then at 5 a.m., Brayden woke me up and told me that Mom and Dad only told me no to make it a surprise, and that we were going to the store to buy it now. It was a great brother experience, and I'll always have fond memories of waiting in line with Brayden and playing Zelda. And here I am 6 years later playing the new Zelda on that same release day Switch.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That being said, sometimes Brayden does half nice, half mean things.
Hey, leave him alone, punks. That's my job.
Now, I don't claim to be the innocent victim in all these circumstances. I push Brayden's buttons too. As my mom taught us, it takes two for contention, and I will not be one. But with me and Brayden, I would change it to, it takes two for contention, and we will both be one. On that note, Brayden avidly claims that I once threw a full can of Sprite at his head. I don't remember this at all, but admittedly, it's not fully out of character for me. At one time, we were on a tandem kayak together, and I was purposefully rowing out of sync with him so that our paddles would clank together.
Right, left, left. Do it right.
I'm trying. Sometimes I forget my lefts and rights.
Just follow my lead. Left, right. You're doing it wrong on purpose.
What are you gonna do about it? Tip me? We're on the same boat, idiot.
Tip both of you, so.
I also do nice things for him, like finding him a wife. Let me explain. One time, a bunch of families and friends in my neighborhood went on a big ol' camping/hiking trip, and I was eating lunch with our family friend Kira. As we chatted and ate, I said to her, "You should date Brayden."
I don't think Brayden's really my type.
And I thought to myself, sure he isn't, honey. And 5 years later, I was the best man at their wedding. Called it. Brayden owes his marriage to me. As such, I will be naming the firstborn child. No. The baby's name will be Bryson 2.
What the-
sequel. Not happening. It's happening, guys. Here's another family love story. Brody brought home a girl named Jen to meet the family, so we decided to all play a board game together. It was a secret role game. We will call it Secret Bad Guy. Anyway, in the board game, the good guys are trying to figure out who the bad guys are and stop them to win. We got our secret roles, and I was the bad guy. I had to keep my identity secret and convince everyone that I was a good guy. The game went on, and it got to the point where if I was elected as chancellor, me and the bad guys would win. I had been purposefully playing in a way that had Brayden totally convinced that I was innocent. Mom was skeptical, but Brayden advocated for me and elected me as chancellor because I had earned his trust. The vote passed.
If Bryson is the bad guy, then we lose. Bryson, you're not the bad guy, right?
Brayden was so angry that I had deceived him that he literally grabbed me, threw me on the table, and strangled me as I laughed. All while Jen watched in horror. What a great introduction to the family. Somehow she ignored that red flag and married Brody anyway. The warnings were there. She signed up for this, so that's on her. And I'm not married. Speaking of board games, I only remember playing
I think
Monopoly
Brayden will be
once.
more
All I
revenge
remember
than you.
is someone getting angry, grabbing the metal airplane piece, and throwing it like a ninja star out of anger. It missed and stuck into the wall. Good thing, too. It could have stabbed someone's eye out. I don't remember who threw it, but I know in my heart that it was Brayden. Anyway, as me and Brayden grew, we became best friends. Siblings are crazy like that. You spend your whole life fighting each other, and then one day you're both like,
He was my best friend all along.
Brayden has blossomed into a great man, and I love him like a brother. Wait. Anyways, despite Brayden trying to kill me over a board game, we still love them and we play them together all the time with the family. So much so that Brayden came to me one night saying that we should make a card game. That's way easier said than done, and I'm just not so sure that. And then the next morning, he sends a big document filled with all his ideas for the game. Honestly, I was not expecting to like it, but after he pitched it, I realized he had the seed of something great, and I was sold. We spent the next several months writing the rules, playtesting, brainstorming, balancing, creating prototypes, and spending late nights together drawing out our ideas on paper cards. It's been super hard and has taken several months to get to this point, but also super rewarding. And so, without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Hoard the Hams, a Hamination's card game where you hoard the most hams, steal hams from others, and protect what you've got. This has been a labor of love from me, Brayden, and the whole family. But we love the process so much that we're making our own family board game company. We already have 2 more board game ideas we've been playtesting, with 2 more promising ideas coming down the pipeline. So, if you want to support our family business while having a blast with your own family, please visit the Kickstarter to support and play Hoard the Hams today. This is a game that I genuinely believe in. We truly poured our hearts and souls into this, and we involved the whole family. It is our sincere hope that it will be a blast for you and your family, because it sure was a blast for me and mine. So please, click the link below to learn more about Hoard the Hams. Supporting the game will help us bring more card games and board games to your family in the future. Thanks for watching.
Looks like this is a light commercial for the game.
There you go, little ham. I'll keep you nice and safe, and no one will ever. Huh? Ha!
Looking for these? See ya, chump.
Not so fast. Ha!
Ha! Ha! Ha! Ha! Face it, man. You've lost.
I wouldn't count your hams before they hatch.
A trap? No!
And I've still got an ace up my sleeve. Ha!
No!
Back now on Kickstarter. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Please consider supporting our Kickstarter and
Oh,
sharing
this
it
was
with
the
people
one
who
the
might be
blue
interested,
team.
because the more
Let's
backers
go.
there are, the more stretch goals get reached, and it makes the final product higher quality for everyone. Here is a review for the game. Hoard the Hams is the best card game in the history of the universe. 5 stars. That review was written by me, and I'm very trustworthy, so go check it out. Thanks.
Okay guys, I think this is gonna be the end of the video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.